Good morning, welcome you faces in for another video. My name is Darren, I'm a class 1 HCV driver here in the UK, and for today we've got quite an easy route actually. We've got one drop down in Sutton Coldfield just north of Birmingham, and then after that we've got a collection. I'm not too sure whether it might be Knutsford on the way back up, or it could be in the Midlands area to then deliver from their client to one of their clients, if that makes sense. Vehicle checks have already been done. Load is all nice and secure. To get to the destination over at Sutton Coldfield, it's 87 miles and we're looking just over a 2-hour drive. And if you're just wondering whereabouts it is, if we just zoom out on our little map, go down towards Birmingham, and it's just off the A38, I think it is. Up that way there. M6 traffic looks pretty heavy on the southbound this morning. Unfortunately, we're going to have to sit in it for a minute or two. Flash hazard lights at the driver behind for letting me on. Not too sure whether it's worth moving over. I'm just sitting in this lane for a little bit, because this lane filters off to the M62, so if there's any accidents on the M62 it'll be backed up on this lane more than the other two, well, the other three. Let's try and get over a little bit. I've got a feeling it might be the M62 causing the issue. Just fueled up as well, so we've got a full tank before hitting the road, so we don't have to mess about later on. Since we moved over to Shell garages, the one on Haydock Island right by our yard is perfect, because it's right by the motorway junction. You can jump on and off the motorway nice and easy, either on the way to the yard or the way from the yard. Get the fuel, so we're not messing about coming off at a service station and stuck in a queue. We used to fill up over at Knutsford when we had the BP cards. Sometimes you'd be 25 minutes there before getting onto the pumps. I hope it's not like this all the way down for the next 85 miles. Something tells me today's going to be a long day. It's taken me a half hour just to get to the M56 junction from our yard. It's about a 15-minute delay already, and traffic's only just started to free up. It's been about 30 miles per hour all the way down here so far. Currently only doing 45. With any luck it might clear up just a little bit more, so we can get to 56 and I'll be happy. I don't mind if it's busy as long as we're doing 56 on cruise control. ETA is currently saying 25 to 10 as well, and that's not including the traffic. As long as I'm there before 10 o'clock it should be okay. It's not a timed delivery though, so that's always a bonus. Entering Birmingham now. As you can see, the M5 southbound is pretty heavy. Traffic was backed up for the past few miles. Thankfully, the M6 itself is actually not too bad overall. Time is currently 20 past 9, so I've probably just missed all the rush hour traffic. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more clearer now getting to the client that we're delivering to. Still got 11 miles left to go, and around 5 or 6 miles we'll be coming off the M6. right now on a Matrix queue after junction. I think I might have spoke a little bit too early then. Don't think the weather can make its mind up as well. I think it's trying to rain. Just looks a little grey and miserable, doesn't it? And I think it's the A38 junction that we come off ourselves. But I know it's right by the Spaghetti Junction. Slow it down a little bit, let everybody on. ETA is currently saying 20 to 10 now. It's been pushed back a little bit. But should be okay for 10 o'clock getting there anyhow. Just as I thought the traffic was getting a little bit better for us, I've had to queue for about 2 miles to come off at the A38, following towards Lichfield. So traffic has just been that bad, unfortunately. To be fair, we did kind of expect heavy traffic with it being Birmingham. I know we always joke about it, but yeah, it is normally bad around here on the M6 traffic. And we're at the junction at the moment, what they call Spaghetti Junction. You're not from the area. It's pretty much because all the roads overlap each other, as you'll be able to see shortly. So the other road which is joining us now, I think that is from the M6 going northbound. You can come off the Slit Road and it brings you around. And then you got the bridge there to the right hand side where the cars are just going over, the 2 white ones. And then there's one going underneath us as well to the right, which is just underneath that bridge. A little bit all over the place, to be honest. When I leave the area as well, I'll give it a nice little recordings where you'll be able to see it a little bit better then. Not too sure what happened last night, whether I slept funny. Oh, I've got a trapped nerve, but in absolute agony this morning because my neck. I don't have full movement of my neck when I turn it left or right. My shoulder on the left hand side is really sore as well. I think I might have a trapped nerve, unfortunately. Hopefully if I keep stretching it throughout the day, it might loosen it up a little bit. Oh yeah, it's the right pain though. I hope I'm in the right lane. Yeah, I am. Good. Just looking at the road markings then, I was thinking, am I actually in the right lane for where I need to be going? Turns out I was. Still got 4 miles left to go. It shouldn't be too long now. 15 minutes according to sat-nav. And the ETA is going to be 10:05 as it stands. So heavy traffic this morning has put me back quite a bit. We're getting on an hour. Quite a big delay that really, isn't it, for the start of the day. Only 500 yards left to go. And it's just on Minworth Industrial Park. that's just the first exit on this roundabout. I've got 22 pallets to come off at this client when I get there. Thank you very much. So I'm expecting about 25 minutes, maybe 35 minutes to get unloaded. So I won't be far off 11 o'clock when I leave. And as I started this morning at 6 o'clock, I need to make sure I take a break before heading back. So I need to pull over somewhere, have a break, and then phone the office, see if they've got anything in the area that needs to be collected to come back, or is it making a collection on the way back to the yard. Is it all clear? I can't believe how long it's taken to get down here. Two and a half hours it's taken. Oh no. Oh dear. Right. Oh, I should go that way instead, it's alright. So this is where I need to get in. Straighten the trailer up a little bit so I can get back. So we've got a FedEx, then a Cullinan, and then it's us. Not ideal, is it? What miserable day it is. What are you breathing? First one done for, and the time's just hit 10 to 11, so I've got an hour and 10 minutes now before I need to take a break. So I'm in two minds really, take a break now, or if there's nothing in the area I might be able to start making my way back. I'll probably take a break around Hilton Park Services then. I suppose it's better than parking on the double yellows for 45 minutes, that's for sure. Or at least 15 minutes for the working time directive break. But ring the office, see what they say. A quick phone call to the office and it's confirmed there's nothing in the area to be collected. So I am making my way back towards our depot now. And I've got a feeling it'll probably be in Knutsford we're making a collection from, so that will make a bit of sense. Thank you very much. Due to the traffic being so heavy this morning on the M6, I'm going to divert a little bit of a different route to get back. Now it's about 87 miles or so before I'm back to the yard, but instead of going to the M6, I'm going to follow the A38 northbound and then jump onto the A5 and then cut across. And that'll bring me out just past Hilton Park Services, and then I should be able to take my break up at Stafford instead. I've got 55 minutes, so I should be able to get to Stafford in that time. But however, if I do hit any traffic on the A38 or the A5, there's plenty of little laybys. I couldn't think what the word was called. There's plenty of little laybys that I can just pop into to take a break, so it's not too bad. Even though it is 11 o'clock, the traffic in theory should not really be that heavy going through Birmingham again on the M6, but there's no point risking it if I know this is a nice clear route anyhow. I've done this route quite a few times, and this morning it probably would have been better coming this way, to be fair. Made it over to Stafford Services with a minute left on my driving time, and if you think that's lucky, I managed to snag myself an end spot. So as soon as I came in, I went straight into it, so I didn't have to mess about with parking up. Because after all, Stafford Services, if you've been here before, they're an absolute pain in the backside to get parking sometimes. What the hell? Someone left a little bit of a poo on the side of the floor. Hopefully it's a dog and not a human one. Now brake's taken care of. Just need to try and reverse out of this little parking space. Oh, looks like someone's had an accident there as well. Quite recently. They were smashed up down the side. Looks like nobody was injured too much, it's alright. But the parking space around here is awful at times. There's not enough space to get in some of the bays, especially if you get trucks parking on the right hand side like so. And they're quite narrowed each bay as well, so it is tight to try and get yourself reversed in at a good angle. That's why you do get a lot of drivers using, oh, it's got a bit of an overspill there actually as well. I always thought that was coaches, to be honest with you, our caravans. If I come here at night time myself, I do sometimes park more around this area. To the right hand side, you can just park up next to the pumps. Tuck yourself right out the way. I've been given 2 collections, and both over at Knowsley Industrial Estate, and they're both in the same yard as well. It's one that I've been to several times. That's quite a regular basis, to be honest with you. I've been to these ones. A little bit of a tight reverse to get in, but I'll show you when I get there. Stick the camera on the side, and then I can park up in the middle of the yard, and the forklifts always come from the other side, from one to the other, to get loaded at the same space, so that's good. Go to the scanner before I left. I've got 1 pallet from one place and 17 from the other. The 1 pallet place normally has about 8, so I'm expecting for a few more to come through a little bit later on, or by the time I get there. Time is currently 5 to 1. And I reckon I'll get there for about 2:30, give or take. It's probably about an hour and a half from where I am now. Straight up the M6 onto the M62, following it down, jumping onto the M57, then coming off at Knowsley. Should in theory be getting up there early enough to miss out on a lot of the build up of the traffic. It's around 4 o'clock, it does get really heavy down this motorway, all the way down here past Stoke and all the way up towards Woolston and the M62 junction. So should just make it past everything with no problems. .56 miles per hour, cruise control, and away we go. Got a lane closure on the first lane, and it seems to be a stranded vehicle again. For it being these ultra safe, smart motorways, nothing ever goes wrong, does it? I'm just hoping everyone's going to be alright. I can't think of anything worse though than breaking down in a live lane. It's got to be horrendous, especially if you've got kids in the car with you. And if you listen to the vlogs or watch them on a regular, you know I'm not a big fan of smart motorways. I think they're more dangerous than anything. There's not enough emergency laybys for people, is there? You just need that few more. It should be every, say, 200 yards or so, or every 300 yards. Speed's dropping down to 40. It's good to see everybody actually staying out of that lane. Normally there would be people still driving in it. Arrived over at Kirkby now for 2:10. However, I've got a slight problem. They've got roadworks right there, and I need to reverse into there. Yeah, I don't really know how I'm going to do this. And if I drove in, I'm going to be struggling reversing out because I've got cars parked here as well. Fun times ahead of us. Not too sure how I'm going to do this, but it's going to be very tight. So I've gone past the roadworks, trying to keep it as close as I can to the curb. Do a bit of left turn. Jackknife in it. You can see in the passenger side the sign saying stop here when lights are red. I'm going to hit the sign there actually. Try and go forward, straighten it up. And the sign is literally down here. That's how close it is. Close. keep myself far to the over as I can so I can let the cars past. Got quite busy in here all of a sudden. Got a van trying to get out, 2 cars trying to get in. The pallets that I'm collecting from this client, what they do, they load up from one side and then slide the pallets across. So to make sure everything's all nice and secure, whilst I'm waiting, I've opened up the curtain a little bit like so. I've got the internal straps, and then I'm just going to connect the internal straps to this side. Tighten them up a little bit like so. Tighten it, and then when they load up the pallets, they'll push them against it, and then they'll get caught on that. So then they're nice and secure on this side, and then once loaded on the other side, I can go around and then strap them up nice and easy. I'm using these little buckles as a guide for each pallet. Normally, when they load them up, that'll be in the middle of a standard size pallet. So no, one will be there, one will be there, one will be there, etc. A little bit like so. That's 20 pallets loaded up from the client over in Knowsley. Now all I need to do is get back to the yard, and the time's 3:30, so hopefully by the time I get to the yard, we'll go beat the queue. And hopefully, it should be done for 5 o'clock. Lower the suspension, set the ride height, and away we go. At this time of the day, it should only take about half hour to get back to the yard, maybe 40 minutes depending on traffic. Shouldn't be much longer than that, to be fair. At least that car's not there anymore. There was one in front of that Skoda, which would have made it a little bit tight to get out of the yard just then. I reckon from where I am now, it's probably about 15 miles back to the yard, and it's going to be straight down the East Lancs, the A580. I always get a lot of container trucks around here, so you ever do container work in Liverpool area, quite high chances that you've been to this site here on the right. It's a pretty big one. Couple of 100 containers, or maybe 1,000 containers. Looking at it, it does go right back, doesn't it? I've never done container work myself. I've asked a few times actually if I could get trained up on it, because SSO do deal with containers as well, but there's only 2 or 3 drivers what are trained up on it at the moment, and James is leaving us, unfortunately. We're on to bigger and better things, so best of luck, James. Hope it all works out for you, mate. Which means there might be another space for me to get trained up on the containers. So I might ask Scott the question. Something different, isn't it? But if you've done container work in the past, let me know down below what's your thoughts on doing container works. And the same for low loaders as well. I've always been a bit intrigued with low loaders. I kid you not, the guy there on the right hand side, don't know if the camera just picked it up, but he was walking a hawk. Yep, he's got a giant hawk or an eagle, whatever it is, in his arm, and he's walking it. Never thought I'd say that myself. I've seen him once before in the past though, on the other side of the estate. So maybe he just takes a nice long walk around here. Oh my word. You'd be amazed at some of the things you see when you're on the road. Nothing surprises you anymore. But as I was saying before, I got distracted by a guy walking his bird. Yeah, how do you find low loader work? For the guys that have done it before, is it something you'd recommend, or would you recommend staying away from doing it? I've always been intrigued really about, and I've always wanted to do a little bit of low loader work, pulling some of the big machineries that you see, especially the big JCB diggers, the excavators and whatnot, the dumper trucks. I think that'd be quite cool. Or even the tractors as well, that'd be great. Something different than pallets, that is for sure. Now luckily I got back to the hub and there's no queue, which means I went straight in, straight away, getting unloaded. I've got 2 forklift drivers, one on either side, unloading me, so it should only take about 10 minutes or so. And the time isn't even 4:30 yet. Bonus. That's what you call winning, guys. Also, I've been speaking to Mike in the office. Tomorrow's run is going to be a 4 AM start. I've got 3 jobs around London area, so it's just on the outskirts. I think it's like NW11 maybe. I've been there quite a few times in the past, but it has been a while since I've been there. Very tight reverse to get into one of them. The second one is getting unloaded on the road, and the third one, I'm not too sure where it is yet. I am just hoping though it's not going to be the one which is around a corner from them two. That I've been a few times before, but it's a really tight blind reverse to get onto their bay. You may have seen it on one of the previous episodes where I've gone to London and it's a really tight blind reverse. So and on that note, I am going to call it a day in the video. So if you did enjoy the vlog, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you again in next time. Don't forget I upload videos Monday to Friday, 7 PM. Nice little vlog so you can see what I've been doing for this day. Take care of yourself, have a great day, have a great week. As always, keep on trucking and stay safe. Bye for now.